We're back. I'm Chaps, Ripp's over there, and this week on The Funniest Movie Ever, we're talking Blades of Glory. So sharpen your skates because Rip and I are on thin ice. But first, Rip, how the heck are you? What's new? And what have you been watching?
Honestly, I didn't watch much at all. I will say this, though. So we live in close proximity to each other. Nobody knows how close, but in close proximity. I went to the grocery store. The grocery store.
The grocery store. Okay, yeah,
and they were giving away free cookies.
Ooh.
Did you get free cookies?
I did not get free cookies. I saw your text way too late. I was really upset by it.
I texted you, holy shit, free cookies.
Well, yeah, like I want to know if there's free cookies going on in my neighborhood.
That's so good. So I cannot remember the last time I bought like a box of cookies.
Right.
Like these were like the President's Choice, like chocolate chip, Chips Ahoy-esque kind, which I probably haven't had since like your house, grade 6.
The cookie jar. The cookie jar that no one could get into without making a noise.
How many days do you think they lasted in my house?
None.
First of all, fuck you. I'll have you know, 3 days.
Oh, that's pretty good. Is that a new record?
That was with my partner also contributing.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like, she fell asleep and I ate like a whole sleeve to myself.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. Whenever I get Oreos, they don't last a night.
This is going somewhere other than just like grocery stores. You should give out free cookies more often. We felt very ashamed that we ate a box of cookies in 3 days. So I proposed a snack bracket.
Okay. Snack bracket.
Follow me here.
Okay.
We are not going to eat snacks for like the next like month or so because we've been snacking pretty hard.
Right. Gotcha.
So I'm proposing, okay, but then we have a reckoning of snacks where we just buy like one of those big boxes of like Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Probably get pretty baked. Yep. And then rank the best Halloween candies in that box.
Are you going to go like across the board? Because there's the Cadbury box. There's you can't get them all in one box.
I mean, I think you get like the best box, right?
Yeah.
The one that has like what, like Coffee Crisp, Aero, like Snickers or Mars in it. What's wrong with this? You're ruining my thing.
I'm not ruining your thing. I'm just saying if the Reese's cup is not included, it's not even an official ranking.
Do you consider the Reese peanut butter cup a chocolate bar?
Yes,
but it's not a bar.
I don't care.
I don't think it is.
I'm not going into.
I think it's a piece of candy.
We have a movie
chocolate.
to get to. I'm not.
What are you watching? Also, don't you dare copy my snack bracket idea. That's
so
patent.
Yeah, my partner and I ate a bunch of snacks. And no, actually, we checked out A Quiet Place Day 1 recently, which was not bad.
Have you seen the other two?
Yeah, I've seen the other two. The other two are much better than this one, I think. But I mean, it was still interesting. What's really cool about these movies is they always find an interesting way to use sound. And in this one, it's like it's loud instead of being really quiet. Like it's got loud moments mixed with like really tense quiet moments, but like they play on the like loudness of sound in this one at the beginning because it's like no one knows the monsters are attracted to sound, so everything's gonna be stupid loud and stuff like that.
Fair enough. Yeah. I've always wanted to like read the script for one of these because you have to think like it does say jump scare, right? Like there's no dialogue in it. It's just like a lot of like
jump scare. This monster pops out of a corner. Yeah, and then we watched Sleepy Hollow. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I saw it on your letterbox. You were a big fan, eh?
Yeah, so my partner and I are in big fall time movie vibes right now, and like we're just trying to find all those movies that sort of like capture that nostalgic essence of fall. And I feel like 90s movies do that really, really good. And we just like Sleepy Hollow fit the bill because it's like a spooky small town. It's the 1800s. Johnny Depp did it. Tim Burton did it. So
what's the guy's name? What's the main character's name in it?
Ichabod.
Thank you.
Ichabod Crane.
Ichabod. Yeah.
It's a great movie though. Yeah.
Ichabod. I've said it too many times. It doesn't make any sense now.
It's yeah. It's one of the things I noticed watching this movie is that I am way more willing to pay attention to a movie made in the 90s than anything made today.
Well, I mean, you also haven't seen it, right? Like, I feel like that's like a large. Sorry?
Ages ago. I've seen it before.
The Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
I have a memory of like being homesick from school and like really digging watching Sleepy Hollow while like chock full of cough syrup or something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know why I watched it growing up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and I also I started The Sopranos. So shout out to that one friend of ours who really wants me to watch that show.
Yeah, we'll see how far you make it.
I'm on episode 3 of season 2. Started at season 2. Gave
Okay.
myself a bit of a head start.
All right, so you're 3 eps in.
Yeah. No,
All right.
2 eps in. I got to watch the 3rd.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
One final question for you.
Okay.
Did you pay any attention to the Emmys at all?
They happened? So no.
Eric Andre won an Emmy.
Oh, did he? Good for him.
For his show.
Oh, nice. Yeah. No, that's great. I'm an Eric Andre fan. Like, I didn't mind the first half of that movie we watched last week. Then the gorilla scene happened, and I
could have been last month. Who knows?
So, is there anything coming out soon that you're looking forward to, or anything you got?
We're doing TIFF movies this weekend. Did you forget?
No, I didn't. I needed something for you to talk about.
I have plenty to talk about. We'll go back to my cookie story and my snack bracket.
All right, what movie are we seeing?
The Order. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay.
That is what it's called.
Jude Law. Nice.
I think we've talked about this already.
We have. And I'm also seeing the SNL movie Saturday morning.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did you say Saturday?
Saturday morning.
Saturday
I'm
morning.
seeing it Saturday morning.
I thought you were doing a bit on the name.
No, I'm
it's
not.
Called Saturday night.
Saturday morning. Yeah. There's a 9 a.m. screening. And I thought my partner was kidding at first when she said that was the one that worked with our schedule best, but apparently she wasn't. So we are seeing it Saturday morning at 9 a.m.
That sounds awful.
You know I will be eating popcorn.
Popcorn for breakfast. There's nothing
Popcorn
wrong
for
with
breakfast. Let's go.
So yeah. I just have one thing to say to you. You couldn't hold my jock sweat. After the break, we're doing Blades of Glory.
The passion, the power, the world of competitive figure skating.
You're welcome, Stocko.
Jazz Michaels is definitely shaking things up.
That was disgusting. That, young man, is how babies are made.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tie.
Sick, you smell like after-shaven taco meat.
Yes, I do.
How dare you?
And we're back. So yeah, we're watching Blades of Glory, or talking about Blades of Glory. We already watched it. So the real reason why we picked this movie this week is we needed a quick substitute for Galaxy Quest after we found at the last second. It's not on streaming anymore. I could have sworn it was.
Which is also upsetting because I would have happily paid $5 for Galaxy Quest.
Hey, you live and learn, you know? It's just the way it goes. No, seriously though, this movie has, I mean, you already kind of alluded to it if we keep that clip in. One of my favorite references of all time, I probably say it like once a day. It's provocative.
You say
gets
that once
the
a
people
day.
Going.
You say that
I say
once
it
a day.
about a lot of things, like just why is the chicken in the sink? It's provocative. It gets the people
Why
going.
is the chicken in the sink?
It's thawing. I don't know. I'm on the spot.
Oh,
Leave
it's
me
not a
alone.
real chicken.
I'm confused because yes, it is a real chicken. It's just not an alive chicken.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant.
You threw me for a loop for that one. Alrighty, so let's jump into this movie. Let's set the stage. This movie is directed by Josh Gordon and Will Speck. They're known for The Switch and Office Christmas Party as well. The writers of this movie are Craig and Jeff Cox, who are brothers, and someone else credited with a writing role is Busy Phillips, who, through internet research, I learned was a friend of theirs. So they were basically two just unknown guys. Like, they've never done anything before. They haven't really done anything else afterwards. They kind of just came up with this idea and through happenstance got it in the hands of the right people.
Ooh, happenstance.
Yeah, happenstance.
That's a good word.
Yeah. So basically when they finished the script, they had a buddy that has a manager in the business, I guess. And that person got it to Ben Stiller. And then Ben Stiller wanted to do the movie. Originally, Will Ferrell was going to be Ben Stiller.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. A little bit of
Who is the buddy Busy? Busy Phillips is the actress, isn't she?
Yeah, she's an actress. She's in stuff. She's been in things.
She's Freaks and Geeks, right?
I can't remember. Did I look it up? Yeah, she's in White Chicks, apparently.
Sure.
But yeah, no, she's the other writing credit on this. And the story goes that they're saying that the three of them were just watching figure skating one day, and she goes like, "How funny would it be like for to follow two rivals?" And then the guys were like, "But what if they were like partners on the ice kind of thing?"
That's good. I like that. That's a fun little story.
Yeah. So this movie comes out in 2007. Do you remember a lot about 2007, Rip?
I have a general idea of what was going on in 2007.
It was 2007. It was the year of Umbrella, Rihanna's huge hit.
Is that?
That's what I found out. I can't remember what the heck happened.
So if you Google 2007 Rihanna Umbrella comes up, honestly, banger of a song.
It is a banger of a song. Other things that happened that year, The Order of Phoenix was released in theaters. And then the last book for Harry Potter also came out that year. It was the year the first iPhone released.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's crazy because literally 2 days ago, iPhone 16 was announced.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So BBM, sorry, was king. Remember BBM Messenger?
No, I never had a BlackBerry.
Why?
I wasn't a BlackBerry kid.
Oh, that's right. You did have you had an iPhone.
I had an iPhone like immediately.
You had the iPhone, and you had that one app where it was like it showed like a beer on the phone, and if you tilt the phone, the beer went away. We all got a kick out of that.
Which is funny because I was 30 or 13. Who knows?
45. Who knows?
45. Yeah.
And another
I'm ancient right now.
Another fun thing: Facebook was just getting started.
That's wild.
Which neither of us use anymore.
Holy shit.
So let's get to the cast. Pretty good cast in this one. We got Will Ferrell. It's Jon Heder or Heder?
Heder, I think.
Heder. I've seen him in 2 movies. This one and Napoleon Dynamite. I don't know what else he's been in.
That's wild. Benchwarmers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Benchwarmers.
So I saw him at a live screening of Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, that's fun.
He's actually a really cool dude.
He
kind of like fell like ass backwards into like fame, really.
How so? Like, I don't know anything about
him.
So
I feel like this movie, I'm going to butcher this. At the live screening, he was telling us all about this. Basically, I think like his roommate or somebody came up with the idea for Napoleon Dynamite, and like it was like minimal budget. People were like sleeping in cars and stuff. Like I think they drove all the way out to, I don't know where they are, the Midwest, and like Jon Heder was like sleeping in his car and like a part of it, and people were just chipping in the town. Like it's a crazy story that this small budget movie like took off the way it did and kind of just launched Jon Heder into fame.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But I mean, you love to hear that stuff, right?
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's just like the writers too. It's like that's like, oh wow, that could be me, maybe, possibly someday.
Probably
maybe,
not, but
probably
like
never. But yeah, rounding out the cast, we have Will Arnett and Amy Poehler, Craig T. Nelson, Jenna Fischer, and Nick Swardson.
Yeah,
is in this one as well.
There's a lot of random people popping up throughout this whole movie too.
Yeah, there's tons of guys. Like the one guy off the top, I don't know his name, but he's in Armageddon.
Oh, he starts off. He's
the dad.
He's Jon Heder's dad. Yeah,
his adopted
like
father.
the number one that guy of all time.
He's in like Armageddon. I'm pretty sure he shows up like in The Rock. Like he's just like he's that guy.
He's good. Yeah. Andy Richter's in this too. He's a
at the very
end.
Yeah, it's a great one. So should we just jump right into the rundown then for this movie, or you got any thoughts for me off the top? Was it worth the rental price?
I have a couple general thoughts. First of all the names in this movie are fantastic.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Chaz Michaels.
Yes.
At one point, somebody addresses him as Mr. Michael Michaels.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe his last name is Michael Michaels, because initially you would think his name is Chaz Michael.
Right. Yeah, because you think it's like Chaz Michaels. Like like the middle name is Michael,
or like it's a hyphenated first name.
Right.
But no, his surname is Michael Michaels.
That's actually hilarious. I didn't think about that. I thought it was Michael was his middle name, and Michaels was his last name.
Yeah. So Mr. Michael Michaels, outrageous. Wardrobe, great wardrobe.
Fantastic.
Costume department, you knocked it out of the park. Apparently I have an appreciation for skate gags, which I didn't know.
I love that for you.
There's so many skate gags in this.
Let's go back. You were telling me before we watched this one that you don't really like this movie, but I'm getting a sense that
I did
tables may have changed.
I don't remember liking this movie that much, and it could have been because I was much younger when this movie came out.
Fair.
And I'm thinking like, maybe I just didn't get it. Like I didn't have the appreciation for how like stupid this movie is.
Oh yeah,
because this is peak 2007 humor, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like this is stupid.
Well, we're getting the Will Ferrell's kind of doing the Sandler formula here, where Sandler did like the sports movies in the 90s. He did The Waterboy. Was it Happy Gilmore?
Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
So Will Ferrell just does Talladega Nights. Then he's doing Blades of Glory, and then literally the year later, they're doing Step Brothers.
Well, Will Ferrell's having a blast in this. And like you can tell, right? Like the guy's like 2023, 2024 McDavid here. Like it's his league.
He's the hot shot.
He's the hot shot. Everyone else is still potting like 30, 40 goals. But like he's just on another level. Like putting up 120 points.
Is figure skating.
He is figure skating.
All right, let's get to the rundown. Let's get into this movie. Let's break it open. We start in the orphanage where little Jimmy McEnroe? I can't remember his last.
Are you thinking of the tennis player?
I am. I'm mixing him up with the tennis's bad boy.
Yeah, the bad boy of tennis. Yeah. Holy shit, it's Johnny McEnroe.
Yeah. So Jimmy's a young orphan skating on the pond, and he's skating to the song at the end of Step Brothers, which had me laughing right away. I'm like, there's no way they literally like they do this movie in 2007, then literally come back a year later and use the same song and do another bit to it. Like perfect, love that. And then you get that. You get the guy. I called him the Kevin Bacon knockoff.
Sure, let's go with that.
It just turns the guy's like, I'll take him.
I was gonna say that. Actually, I have that written down. That's so funny. I'll take him. He's not a puppy.
Yeah, exactly. He's an orphan. He's a human being. So then we flash forward. We get into the real world of this. It's Jimmy's. It's the first skating competition, and we're introduced to Jimmy. He's competing. He's doing the galloping peacock moves. You got Grandma's Boy guy in the crowd. He's that weird stalker, Nick Swardson.
Yeah.
And we're getting those backstory intros. Like I guess it's kind of like the TSN, like 30 for 30
the exposition.
idea.
Yeah, it's so good.
Any moments there pop out to you?
Yeah, like Jon Heder is funny, but like Will Ferrell's knocks it out of the park, right? Like, I mean, I guess in all fairness, like it just works better with him. Like his whole thing, and especially at like this time period is like being random.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, I wrote down some funny quotes, right? Like they refer to him as the undefeatable underdog. Ice skating's backdoor lover.
Yes, I have that one written down too.
An ice-devouring sex tornado spawned in the hellfires of Motown, which is just good writing.
There's so many great names, and I found it so hard to take notes during this one just because there were so many rapid-fire lines I don't want to write down. One we missed during Jimmy's intro. What did they say? Yeah, he wants to adopt a series of athletically advanced orphans. That just really got me. But yeah, after that, like you're saying, we were introduced to Chaz Michaels, and he comes out from behind the sign. He's just weirdly hanging out behind the sign as Jimmy's waiting for his scores, and they sort of bicker back and forth. And what does Jimmy say? He says, "Oh, I beat you in that contest." He's like, "Hey, man, I was on Quaaludes that whole time."
Which I never realized. Like Quaaludes makes a lot of appearances in movies as like a subtle joke, right?
Yeah, I guess everybody was on them at a certain point in time. That's what I've been led to believe.
I just thought it was a Wolf of Wall Street bit, but apparently, like, people did lewds.
This is way before Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, that's what I mean, right? Yeah.
Then we get into Chaz's routine, which honestly is like, it kind of slaps. Like, his routine was way better than Jimmy's.
Like, that makes me want to watch figure skating. If this was what figure skating was like, I'd be all over it.
Yeah, he's doing his I don't know, triple sow cows and double axles, and then he does the split jump in front of Jimmy and gives him the point.
I also love that, like, they didn't even bother to make this realistic, right?
Oh, no.
Like, the moves are so outrageous, so, like, in your face. I'm all here for it.
It's so funny because it goes from these moves that are so simplistic so they can have Jon Heder and Will Ferrell on ice skates doing little jigs and dances. And then the next thing you know, it's a weirdly CGI imposed face of Will Ferrell doing the splits while jumping.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it worked perfectly. There's another name that they call him during his routine, which the leather-clad Lothario.
I saw that, yeah. I didn't write that one down because I didn't know how to pronounce it, so thank you for doing it.
So funny. They call him Sex on Ice. All these great lines.
At age 9, he had a 35-year-old girlfriend. I don't know if you picked that up.
Yeah, there's so many things that just come out of nowhere in this movie.
My personal favorite line, though, I have to make mention of this. So he became a star in Detroit's underground sewer skating scene.
Yeah. The underground sewers.
There's a clip of like all these kids skating in the sewer.
Yeah.
Like black and white.
So good. After that, his routine wraps and we meet Strands and Fairchild for the first time. At first, I was confused at who is who. I was like, is Arnett Fairchild or is he Strands? And I had no idea.
So I have actually, hear me out here. Their last name is, what is it, Von Waldenberg?
Yeah.
So I have a bone to pick with this because it's super not American. Like, what is that, like Dutch?
Yeah.
Which made me think, like, I think it would be funnier if they leaned into that.
And they were just like a Dutch
like
team?
If they were Dutch or even if they were like Canadian or something. Like, yeah. I feel like, you know, with both of their backgrounds, I think they're both SNL, right?
Yeah.
Like, they know how to ham it up. They know how to do like stupid impressions. Yep. Like, lean into it, maybe like go hard on an accent or something. Like, I think that would have played a little bit better.
I wish we got more time with Strands and Fairchild, like in general. Just I feel like there's already a lot in this movie, but like I feel like they would have added another element, another layer to the whole thing. Like they're involved in the climax a lot.
Yeah.
But in the early going,
it's already like a pretty short movie. Like I mean, what, hour 30?
Yeah.
I would have taken like 10 more minutes with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So after that, this whole scene sort of climaxes with the podium. And we kind of get introduced to the problem at hand, and Jimmy and Chaz fight, and then get basically banned from figure skating. Chaz headbutts the mascot and lights him on fire. Like he falls into the torch. So good.
I'm surprised that like that blow up between them wasn't bigger. Like again, because I didn't really remember this movie watching it. Like I fully expected like shit to go down in that arena.
Right.
But it was pretty small.
It's tame. I mean, hey, they're still professionals, right? You gotta keep the ratings up for the families at home. And then we go to the court. Senate chamber,
discipline board.
This thing, the place that they go looks literally like the U.S. Senate. Like it does not look like a courthouse at all. And then you got the Fiend, Mr. Feeney.
I was going to say, did you know it's Mr. Feeney?
I get, what is he, like the head of the
head of the board
skating committee? Yeah, head of the board.
Can I get a Feeney call?
I'm not good at it. You do a Feeney call.
I'm not going to do a Feeney call.
So yeah, they're getting banned. At one point, Will Ferrell says something to somebody. You have officially given me a boner. I forget who he says that to, but he's like a
So
reporter
bad.
or something like that. And then they're both given a couple of minutes to defend themselves, and this is where you get the iconic Chaz Michaels is figure skating.
Yeah.
And he has the Maxim cutout. Like I love that he just carries around this cutout of a magazine with him everywhere he goes.
I love how jaded I am that like my first thought was like he would never get banned. Like his son's a billionaire. Like,
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Also, Chaz Michaels is figure skating. You don't ban figure skating from figure skating.
You don't ban your superstars.
You know.
And then Jimmy gets unadopted and left at the side of the road, which I thought was hilarious.
I like that. Like, if you pay attention, the driver like clearly knew. So this was a conversation that had happened before.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Almost as if like, okay, in 7 minutes, pull over and like let him out of the car.
Yeah. Because exactly. It's not like his dad didn't go, "Hey, stop here." The driver stopped.
He just knew.
So then we get a flash forward 3.5 years later, and we're catching up with the guys again. I love this for Chaz's character, that he's a drunk and he's skating for a kid's show called The Grublets or something like this.
Yeah, run by Motley Lou.
Yeah, exactly, by Rob Corddry. I thought he was his agent at first, but yeah, no, he's just the show manager of the Grublets.
The
I think that's what
Grublets,
it's
great
called.
name.
Yeah. And I love they're just portraying him as this washed up rock star. Like he's got groupies backstage and stuff like that. Like
The Woodland Fairies.
I don't care if you were a world class figure skater. Like do they have groupies? Like is this the world? I love it.
I mean, you saw them all. Everybody's like, what, trashed?
Yeah.
Probably high on lewds.
Oh yeah, Chaz is completely blackout drunk all the time, basically. Then we catch up with Jimmy. He's selling skates at the shop. He's sizing people up for skates. And that's when Hector shows up and gives him the loophole of how he can get back in to the figure skating world.
Which is so ridiculous. Like, do we care that comes from Nick Swardson's character? I mean, like,
No.
It's pretty on brand, but it's also like, sure.
I do love that, like, Nick Swardson's character's doing it so he has someone that's like A-list to stock again. Like, that's his main reason.
I'm
He's
still
like,
gonna kill you, Jimmy.
Yeah. We have one more check-in with Chaz on the ice, and he's puking in his mask.
So good. So to me, this is like one of the funniest visuals in the movie. Is you can hear him puking, but you just see, because he's dressed as like a tree. No, he's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
He's a wizard. So you just see the wizard mask like drop down a little bit,
Yeah.
but no puke comes out.
And you're also getting the sort of the Iron Man POV, like of inside the mask, and he's moving around. He's like, "Oh God!"
It's so good. Also, whoever did the music for that show knocked it out of the park.
The music across the board in this movie is like one of my favorite parts.
Low-key pretty good.
Yeah,
it's so whimsical.
Low-key, really good. So this leads us to getting the band back together, basically. We have Jimmy. He's trying to get his old coach back on board. Having no luck, basically. His coach telling him it's never going to work. Now he's at the Grublets Palace looking for skaters, really.
Seriously, when you say Grublets?
Yeah, the Grublets Palace. He's looking for a new skating partner, and he runs into Chaz, and we get round 2 of the fight. I actually really love this scene. Now the coach is at home now, and he's seeing the fight happen on the news.
Yeah.
And he's seeing them. Oh, he's got him in a perfect fucking figure skating move. I love that part of it.
I thought this was really clever. Like, this was a really clever way to do it.
So then he goes and gets them out of jail, pitches that they should skate together as a same couple team, basically.
And we're just gonna like bypass the fact that this is all like so cliche. Like the coach is at home like watching it on TV, of course. Like they're in prison, some guy just pulls his pants down and takes a shit, which like
it's like
improv.
That guy says something to him as he's leaving. I think he just yells at him. And Will Ferrell like looks back and is like very startled by it.
Maybe it was improv. Maybe it's like, this is my time to shine, and he just whips his pants off and takes takes a grublet.
Yeah, This sequence is quickly followed by the sign up media day, which I was wondering, like, did you think about this? Like, is this how it works? You just go and sign up. You just go sign up for the competition. You're like, oh yes, I would like to enter this one,
I mean,
please.
I think you're like checking in, right? Like I think you do that with like most like major competitions like that.
But this feels like it's way before like any events. Like this is like you're registering. Like this is like to me, it looks like when my parents would take me to hockey registrations.
Yeah,
in the morning.
okay,
Like,
fair enough. But also, I mean, I guess like you want it that way. Get the media on your side, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like strategy by the coach there.
for sure. And then you have Arnett and Poehler. They're doing an interview, and what is it? The reporter asks him something like, "Oh, like how are you going to pull off a win this year?" And Will Arnett just goes, "Skating." Like the way he says it is so weird, and then not in line with the rest of his character, the rest of the movie. This is also where we get the mind bottling.
What's this part?
He's talking to Jimmy, and he's like, "Oh, it just bottles your mind or something. It's so mind bottling."
Okay,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, Mind bottling. It's like, yeah, you know when your mind gets all bottled up.
Fuck, is that what this is from? I swear, you and I have been doing this bit for like years.
The
And
mind bottling bit.
Yeah, and
Ah.
I did not know that it's from this movie,
Well,
and I also missed it again until you just told me so.
you learn new things every day.
I'll forget.
Eventually, they cause a stir at the media presser by signing up as a same-sex pair, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're the new hot ticket in town." And this is where we get looped in on the Strauns and Fairchild home and the family dynamics, and yeah, we all knew they were going to kiss at the end. Like I was getting big Jamie and Cersei vibes the whole way.
I am so surprised. I don't get that reference. I do, but I'm going to pretend I don't get that
You
reference.
started this game. I know you did.
I'm shocked that they didn't do a super offside scene where we see their parents die in a car crash, because it seems very on brand for this kind of movie.
No, they
right?
just fucking use that to guilt Pam into
I know,
doing
but
their.
like I fully expected like to do like a voiceover like narration while it's happening,
Yeah.
and then I don't know, like the car like doesn't explode, but then like 10 seconds later it just explodes.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we get the Strauns and Fairchild. They're basically planning to take down Chaz and Jimmy. That's the whole problem at hand. And then we catch up with Jimmy and Chaz in the cottage that they're staying at during training. Chaz says something really funny here. He goes, "The night is a dark time for me." And Jimmy just looks at him and is like, "Yeah, it's dark for all of us." You remember that?
I do remember that. Did I miss something? Did they already do their first skate, or is that coming up?
That comes up.
Okay.
You do the training montage. You get
That's
into
right,
There's
right.
just a couple
Okay.
other things I want to hit first. They're putting all their stuff away in the home, and is this
bunk
horse
beds,
shampoo?
yeah.
Is this horse shampoo?
Horse.
You're getting a lot of like Will Ferrell classics in this scene.
Yeah.
Because you get the bunk beds, which is later a huge joke in Step Brothers.
Yeah.
But you also get the brush, which is to me a throwback to Sex Panther.
Oh, interesting.
The cologne, like he's going on and on about
He
this.
does talk about
this
it like it's
Italian
Sex Panther.
brush. They only make 11 of them a year from a legal whalebone. Like,
Also, 11 seems like quite a few brushes. Like who else has that brush
there's only 11 people who have that brush
per
A ye-
year?
Per year, I guess.
Per
yeah.
year. That's quite a bit of people.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt has that brush.
Oh, for sure. Brad Pitt needs that brush. And then we move right along into the first training session. This is very big chest thumping vibes. They're trying to suss each other out. Who's the
Pissing
big man?
contest.
The big man on campus, and got Chaz taking off his skates, walking barefoot on the ice. I was like, what? Why?
Horrible.
Yeah, just
Horrible
sounds
feeling.
awful. And then you get the icy hot super slide from Jimmy.
Yeah, I felt that. I did not care for that.
And then you got Chaz yelling, "It's not going to matter because you're flat in front like Ken."
That's a good bit.
And then we move into, I think after that they're sort of just like cooling down from their training session, and Chaz is on the treadmill or an elliptical or whatever. He wants a snack, but he's not allowed to have it yet. But this is where we get one of my favorite quotes. It's just, what are we going to skate to? We're going to skate to one song only. My humps.
Do you remember how big this was in 2007?
Oh man, it was huge.
Like this scene was everywhere. It's at the beginning of what, the Kanye West Jay-Z song. Like,
no
it's
one
everywhere.
knows what it means.
It's everywhere.
Provocative. Gets the people going.
Do you think the youths nowadays know of this scene?
I hope so. It's one of the best scenes.
Do you think they even know who Fergie is?
I thought it was a Black Eyed Peas song at first, and I had that written in my notes, and I had to change it to Fergie.
Good for you for updating your notes.
Out myself on that one.
That's okay. I'll out myself as in I have not spelled Will Ferrell's name correctly in any of my notes.
There's
it's
two
different.
R's, two L's.
I don't know. Some of them have one R. Some of them have two L's. Some of them have...
Hey, man, as long as you pronounce it right.
Yeah.
It's actually Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah. So from here, we get into that sort of training montage. We go to the dance studio. And I was dying at these bits of Jon Heder dancing in the dance studio. He's getting all like, I don't know what moves you're doing, but he's getting in touch with himself.
He's loose.
Yeah. And then they're attempting their throws. They're doing their stretches, and Chaz gets his nuts hit. Jimmy's foot slips off and kicks Chaz in the nuts.
Classic.
Yeah. Which brings us right into the first event of the season. How did you feel about the first event of the season? What here stood out to you?
So what I immediately noticed and what I fully expected that did not happen was I thought for sure we were going to get like a homophobic slur. The crowd is like super not into it. They take the ice and it's like kind of quiet.
Well, we kind of get that. I think before this moment, there is that sort of prelude where they're doing like a bunch of media footage.
Yeah,
and that you have a lot of people on there, and they're the people like asking they have all terrible. They have terrible opinions about same-sex couples, and they're awful people. But they're ramping up to that, and this movie's really just like figure skating's already kind of ridiculous, so who cares? You know?
I mean, honestly, that is the take.
Yeah,
that's walk away with that take today. But also we have respect for it because it looks very hard and I cannot do any of it.
Oh yeah, it looks insane.
That said, yeah, when they walked into the center of the ice, I was fully like, oh no, here it comes, like fully waiting for it. It did not come.
Yeah.
So I was impressed.
But what did come was Aerosmith. And boy, did this song choice really get me. I was like,
really?
It made me laugh. Like some of the song choices made me laugh themselves. Like I was laughing that they were dancing to the Aerosmith graduation song.
I thought they could have done better than this song, but when you put it that way, I get what they're
it's
going
just
for.
Really funny to me. They start their moves off. He throws Jimmy into the board.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he eats shit.
Yeah,
right? Face
100%.
first into the boards.
He hucks him.
I'm going to read you their scores. They got like 5.8, 5.9, 6.0. He fucking went face first into the board.
I'm also curious about the scoring system in figure skating. Like, is the highest like a 7 or something like that?
I think the highest is a 6.
Oh, is it?
I mean...
Okay, did it not go higher than 6?
I didn't see higher than 6.0.
Why 6?
I don't know.
That's so random.
You should have looked this up. This is your hosting this week.
I am hosting this week, but I did do some research. So they did have Will and John. They were actually skating. But apparently in the first week of training they had to learn how to skate. They had to train them how to skate. John broke his ankle.
Of course he did.
So they had to, the way they did it, they changed the schedule to do all the acting scenes like up front so that John could do all the acting and whatnot. Wait 6 months for him to heal so then they could do the on ice stuff with obviously the jumps and whatnot is CGI. You can completely tell in the movie. But like for the most part, when they're out there, like Will Ferrell was in an interview. He's talking like I had to learn how to stop, like, and it had to look good. Like
that's so funny.
Yeah,
I'd love to hear like Will Arnett's take on this. I know he's like a really big hockey guy, like
yeah,
Canadian, right? Like I'm sure he was doing like a lot of skating. He was probably having the time of his life during this.
Yeah, probably. He's teaching them all how to do it. Oh yeah, I had a huge shout out in here to Xbox 360 board ads.
Oh my god,
did you
I
catch
saw that.
What a throwback!
Yeah, right. I think even one of them just said Xbox, like just Xbox.
Yeah, just Xbox. But it was the old logo, so it was such a throwback.
I miss that logo.
Yeah,
so much better. How did you feel about this?
What, the scene?
Yeah.
I love this sequence. I thought it was hilarious. You get the side by side double axles in time with the song, perfect. And then there's the one where like he's holding him upside down. They have their crotches in each other's faces.
Yeah.
Like it's just
that's a trailer shot for sure.
Low hanging fruit. And then the finish. The finish made no sense. Why is this a move where they skate as fast as they can towards each other and just slam their dicks?
I did not enjoy looking at that at all.
And then they're celebrating, and they're in Denver, and Will Ferrell yells, "City by the Bay, John Denver."
Again, like improv, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of great lines. Like McElroy and Michaels are a freight train from hell, and we're going straight right up the ass of the competition. Then you get this weird scene the next day where it's like, I guess it's setting up B story. It's for Jimmy to call Katie. Is that her name?
Yeah.
And he's talking about his tattoos.
I love this part. Did you not like this?
When he was talking about his tattoos, I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah, they all have a story. But then I loved when he's like, when Jimmy goes, I got my face painted at the Blueberry Festival one year.
Yeah.
Chaz like not the same.
I thought the tattoos was really good. I enjoyed that. And again, I was kind of like hoping like that they let him riff a bit, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, pick a celebrity. Like I like to think Will Ferrell's probably up to date on his figure skating celebrities. Maybe
Probably.
there's one of like Tessa Virtue, you know, who knows? But the idea that they're just like, okay, Will, like, what kind of tattoos do you want? And then here's this celebrity, make up a backstory for it.
Yeah. Well, he's a sex addict, right? So he's got all his
Yeah.
his what is it? Like they're like
Like trophy
trophy
tattoos, I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then Chaz makes Jimmy call Katie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yo, it's the Mac Attack."
The Mac Attack. Great nickname.
So good. And it's basically Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell like sexting each other.
Yeah, they're going back and forth with each other.
I like the picture that they had each other in like the same room, and they're like, "Okay, like let's come up with the grossest lines together of what to say."
This would be like a really good. I didn't watch the end credits, but I'm assuming there weren't bloopers. This would make a lot of. There's a lot of material here for
that'd be
bloopers, right?
A lot of fun stuff there.
Or even like do more like behind the scenes stuff. That's what I miss about DVDs, man.
Yeah. You don't find the special features anymore.
Right? Like the kind of movies like this where like you know that they're riffing, right? Like again, Will Ferrell, like Amy Poehler, Will Arnett, like all of them. SNL alums, like this is their bread and butter, right?
There probably is a great like outtakes reel on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
Gotta start looking for those things before we do this.
Maybe not.
So this phone call leads us right into the meeting about the illegal move. The Iron Lotus.
The Iron Lotus. How do you feel about the name?
I fucking love the name. The name is so good. Like it's such a ridiculous name. It's so great.
I mean, like, where do we even start? Like, they go to North Korea to try.
So revolutionary and dangerous.
I like to think that
I had to
like
take it to North Korea.
Kim takes that call, right? Like the coach calls him up and he's like, put Kim on the phone right now. I got something.
The archival footage where they mix in Kim and then it's like cut to that like the figure skater stuff in front of their massive promenade or whatever.
Yeah.
Just lops the head off. Just,
so good.
My gosh.
And then the guy goes over and he picks it up.
Yeah. He goes to pick it up. Oh my God. This movie is insane. For people who haven't seen the movie, it's basically he throws them up in the air and they're supposed to do like 2 or 3 somersaults while basically kicking their skates towards the person's falling head and not trying to catch their neck. It's kind of insane.
I just love that they fully commit to the bit that like, oh yeah, like no, it's the neck doesn't just get slit, like the whole head comes off.
The whole thing just lopped right off. And then we get Jimmy's date with Katie. They're getting the snow cones.
Ooh, I have a question for you. Do you like snow cones?
I haven't had a snow cone in however many years it was for these two characters.
Do you remember liking it though?
You have to get enough of the syrup
That's
shit
what I was going to say.
on
Like,
top.
it's just snow.
Yeah, you gotta get, if you don't get enough of it, it's like it's not
You're eating
good.
ice.
And then if you put too much, it's always in those little weird tissue cup thingies,
that's
and it
yeah.
starts leaking out the bottom.
You're right.
So snow cones, not that great.
No,
not that great.
big no to snow cones.
Yeah. This is again another, I guess maybe future bit that they're going to use in Step Brothers, but you get the weird makeout here. The awful.
This was a really popular bit, I guess, in the early 2000s.
The weird people not knowing how to kiss, basically.
I hate this. Like, did anybody outside of Hollywood think this was funny?
I
It just
don't
makes me
know.
uncomfortable.
It does. It's just awkward. It's weird. It's just why.
Like maybe it's like for the actor and actress, like they don't really want to kiss, so it's like it's just like make a
Let's
bit
make it
out
a
of
joke.
Yeah,
Maybe. And then we get back to the Iron Lotus training, and Jimmy shows up as Chaz is mid training, and Chaz goes, "Carve up any ice with your wiener."
Is this the part, or is it later on where they're practicing this Iron Lotus move, and all of the heads on the ice look like Jon Heder?
This is the same scene. This is it's like the Scarecrow basically, but they all look like Jon Heder's head.
They put special attention, to make it look like his head. That's so good.
Yeah.
Such an underappreciated bit because you just know that like they go to their props department and they're like, okay, we're gonna need you to make these look like Jon Heder's head. And they're like, oh, sick. But it's like, it's like a 2-second scene in the movie. It's not that important. But can you do like 30 of them?
I like to think that they work really, really hard on them. I also love the idea that maybe Will doesn't tell anybody. He just goes to the prop guys himself, and he's just like make him look like John's head. Just do it.
I'm in. Okay, that's 100% how this went down.
And then after this, we get the winter sport presser. So this is where all the people who I guess are still in the running for first place of whatever this competition is, because I don't know how they made it to the finals, but they did. They're on stage and they're having their presser. I forget the quote that Chaz uses, but the guy calls him out and finishes it for him. He's like, actually, the rest of that quote goes like this. Did you write that down at
No,
all? Did you
I
catch that part? No. And then this is also where Strauss and Fairchild basically threaten to Tanya Jimmy and if he doesn't sleep with Chaz. Or Jimmy if Katie doesn't sleep with Chaz.
Can we just like pause and appreciate that this final showdown happens in Montreal of all places?
Yeah, it does.
That's pretty cool.
I like how it's like in this movie they're talking about the Olympic Games and all this stuff like that. And then they just have this made up winter sport games.
Wait, hang on. Do you know if it's made up or not?
I'm assuming
You're
so.
assuming, but you don't know.
I don't know, but
It might not be.
Have you ever heard of the winter sport games?
No, I don't follow winter sports. I hibernate during the winter.
You follow hockey. What are you talking about? That's a winter
Hockey's
sport.
it's like a year-round sport. That doesn't count.
Yeah, fair enough.
I do have another question for you,
Yeah.
as we have both been in Montreal before.
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember a canal like this anywhere in the city.
That happens a bit later, but yes, I don't remember there.
While we're on the topic of Montreal, I have no idea. Like,
It
is
does
this,
look more like the Ottawa Canal.
it does
to
look
me.
like the Ottawa Canal, and I want to call it out and say this isn't Montreal, but I'm not confident enough to do that.
I wouldn't be shocked if they shot those scenes like on the Ottawa Canal for some
But then
reason.
it's like, why even bother like going to Canada? Period. Like, you fucking shoot it anywhere.
That's true. You could. Maybe they needed the cold weather.
This is why we need an intern. Like, there should be an intern to my left
get
right now,
Greg.
Googling shit right now.
Greg should be on it.
We should have, yeah.
Yeah, we need producers, we need sound engineers. We're not hiring if you want to work for free. But yeah, we get mixed in with this whole winter sport presser. We get the Chaz going to his sex addict meeting. Luke Wilson's the moderator.
That's another, yeah, I completely forgot about him.
So Katie shows up to this meeting to try and kind of seduce him. They go back to her place, and she says something about the bed. She's like, he doesn't want to sit down. He doesn't want to
It's
do it with her.
orthopedic.
Yeah, it's orthopedic. Oh, well, it's good for my posture. I guess I better.
I can relate to that.
They're not gonna go through with it. They think Jimmy's too good of a guy, but Jimmy walks in at the wrong time, and this is the end of the friendship, basically.
Okay, I cannot let you breeze by this because this is one of my favorite parts in the movie. Him running down the hallway with the balloons.
Oh yeah,
There's so many good visuals in this movie. Like, that's such a funny visual
Jon Heder's
gag.
run it's the Napoleon Dynamite run
I
still.
literally wrote this down. Him running down the hallway with balloons looks too natural. He has done this before.
Yeah, and he's done it in a movie before. But this is where you also kind of get Chaz is on the phone, and he just keeps calling, and he's leaving all these messages. And he says, if we were gonna go as like Batman and Robin, I'd go as Robin.
That's a good one.
Like,
I can appreciate that. 'Cause nobody wants to be Robin.
And then it sort of keeps spiraling from there, and he goes, I put all your teddy bears in my pants, and it starts to get weird.
How many do you think he fit?
I don't know. All of them.
How many teddy bears did
says
you
all
fit
of
in your pants?
I don't know. Like, how big are the bears?
Good question.
All right, so this is where we get to the evil siblings. This is Strauss and Fairchild are going through with their plan, and Katie stands up to her siblings finally, so they decide to take things into their own hands. Strauss kidnaps Chaz while he's on his way to the venue. Fairchild locks up Jimmy in the bathroom.
These are horrible plans, by the way.
It's also really funny because at that same time, she like shoves a kid out of the way. I don't know if you caught that part. Like,
wish I
she's
did,
like
'cause it's
and she
funny.
like just shoves this child. It's really funny. And then this is where Jimmy learns the truth that Chaz didn't sleep with Katie. Obviously, promptly Chaz escapes his lockup. Where was he? He was locked up in some like warehouse right next to the canal.
Yeah, like a skate warehouse.
And that's why we kind of get our like, I don't know, our chase scene of the movie. Like,
We do. You skipped one part,
okay, what is?
which was really funny.
What'd you have?
And I'm a sucker for like gags like this, where Will Ferrell gets into the cab and Will Arnett kidnaps him to go to the skate warehouse.
Yeah.
He hits him in the head with a hammer, and it makes the most delicious ding.
Is it like a donk?
Oh, it's like a ding.
The most delicious ding.
And I also appreciate this. He's got the little mark on his head too, like the little,
they
just a
kept
little
it.
circle from the hammer.
I like that. Good for them.
But no, this is like the best part of the whole movie.
Oh
right?
yeah, this is like one of my favorite parts. Is it so Chaz escapes and he's going to basically skate his way to the competition.
Yeah.
And I love there's one part right before he gets onto the canal, he gets his skates tied up and he just flips Strauss off, but it's
Yeah.
like the most majestic like flip off ever. And now they're skating down the canal. Meanwhile, this is all intercut with probably one of the grossest things ever.
Yeah.
Jimmy is like eating the toilet paper from the garbage can because it has the key on top.
There's got to
It's
be a
just
better way to get that key.
gross. Like, I was kind of gagging. Like, I'm kind of gagging thinking about it because it's just like the toilet paper looks disgusting.
It looks really gross.
Like, it looks like someone shit wiped with it, re-rolled up the toilet paper.
Thank you for that
and put
visual.
it in the garbage.
Perfect.
But yeah, this is one of my favorite parts. It's Strons and Chaz on the skates running across the road.
Oh, it's so good. This whole, and you know me, I love a gag that gets run into the ground. This is run into the ground like over and over again. They're in fucking China by the time this bit's done.
I don't even know if it's run into the ground though. I think they just keep building on it because first it's hilarious that they're on the road, and then they're in a department store and they're slipping on that floor, and then they're stuck on the escalator. Like it just keeps getting better and better
the
and better.
escalator's really good.
And I love what's he say? He's like, "Who are you, Rod Serling?" And I don't know who's
He's JFK.
Yeah, he's actually dressed as JFK, and he's like, "It's gonna make sense."
Yeah, no, totally.
And then later he has the crossbow and he fucking dummies the mascot with it. Like
When he hits the mascot and then he goes, snowflake.
Yeah, I died. Oh man. And then Chaz jumps over the bridge into the frozen river, and his brush floats up, and we don't know if he survived.
Yeah.
Then literally moments later, he cuts through the ice with his skate.
Great skate gag. Do you think
So
that would work? Because I was watching it, I'm like, oh, movies when like they don't, come through the other end of the ice, like couldn't have enough force to do that. But I was like, oh fuck, like a shoe with a knife on it might actually work.
Yeah, how do you generate that momentum through
That's
water?
true, yeah.
Though, right? Like,
But it's sharp. Does that matter?
did Mythbusters ever cover this?
I actually never really watched that show.
I used to love those guys. But yeah, so as Chaz falls into the water, we're kind of taken back to the final venue where Strons made it on time, no problem, to do his routine with Fairchild, and they wrap up their stuff, and someone calls it a rare ballet of ice and history in reference to the Monroe and JFK
Yeah,
affair.
we get a little preview. I guess not even preview, just a couple quick a couple screen grabs of their routine.
Yeah,
She's
it's just-
taking the pills, and he's like giving her the Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then we kind of get that whole waiting for Chaz bit where Jimmy doesn't know if Chaz is going to show up. Is he going to be there? Are they going to be able to skate? He's got like 30 seconds left. And Chaz shows up at the top somehow, like at the top of the venue. Like, where is this venue? Is this venue underground? Like, is that the ground floor up there? How did he get to the roof?
I'm also a huge fan of like when movies do this because it doesn't make any sense. It's
Oh, I
like,
love it.
you have 10 seconds. And it's like,
And it takes 35.
it takes like 7 minutes. And like everybody's aware of this. Like, you want to get them knocked out of the competition? Why don't you point out that it's been more than 10 seconds?
Yeah,
He's
no kidding.
speaking for 10 seconds alone.
Because he comes in, he's like, Katie's not a whore.
Exactly, right?
And then he does one of my favorite things. I love the impromptu zip line. He uses his
It
jock.
never works.
He
The
uses-
zip lines never work.
He uses his jock and zip lines all the way down. Meanwhile, hitting people just in the back of
More
the head with his
skate
skates. Those
And
people
again,
are all dead.
The sound effects engineer crushed this movie.
Oh, it's so good. And then we get that quick change, and one of the announcers calls about. It's like, the Chaz Michaels quick change. Like I forget what he says, but
Just explain it away with a quick quip.
yeah. And then we get their final routine, and honestly, I love this routine a lot. What did you think about it?
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
That's
That's
all
what
I
I
have to say.
have. I have that.
It's Flash
I have
Gordon.
Flash Gordon written right there. It's so good. As soon as I heard them, because it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, and I was like, why are they dressed up in sci-fi outfits? I forget what this is. And then
Yeah.
you get the Flash Gordon, and it's so good.
The routine is just, it's crazy. I mean, you get what, like a 20-foot chest bump, which
20-foot
leads into
chest
them,
bump.
slamming skates.
They're doing cartwheels, and as they're doing cartwheels, their skate blades are like crossing and going ting, ting. Like it's crazy. There's
It's so good.
fireworks on them. Like
The choreography, I have to find this script and read it because I need to know like what was written and what were they just kind of like running with, right?
yeah, and then you kind of the announcers called about their the improv. Like it looks like Jimmy's catching on to Michaels' improv, and the guy, these guys put the bone in Zamboni.
Again, just a nice little quip.
And then Fairchild sabotages them, throws her beads on the ground, which honestly, like this looks awful. Like when his skate hits that bead and just shatters his ankle, like it looked like I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
It's a pearl, you poor.
You poor. The breaking of the ankle forces them to switch positions on the Iron Lotus. And I love the drama of this.
I do too. This is such a good little switch up.
Where Chaz has been practicing and practicing. Jimmy's never tried it before. So he throws Chaz and Jimmy has to do the jump. And I love you get the blade where it just like, it's like a
Yeah.
razor commercial where it just skins the edge of his hair and just
So
takes
good.
off a neck.
And like somehow he feels that.
And then basically that's it. That kind of wraps up the movie. Like Jimmy kisses the girl, says Chaz taught him some stuff. I wanted to call it before we wrap everything. There's more, but the way the announcers are saying Montreal the whole time.
I love it.
So bad.
Montreal.
Montreal.
Are we just gonna gloss over the fact that they like fly into space?
No, because I haven't got there yet. I haven't got this is the end of the routine is what I meant. They end the routine. Jimmy kisses the girl, and then we sort of really do start to wrap things up. You got Andy Richter shows up as the Mountie. He takes away Strauss and Fairchild. No, he doesn't take them away. I thought he was going to at first, and then they're actually just free later. Like they don't get taken away. They don't get put in jail or anything like that.
Well, Canadian jail, right? Because they're Mounties.
Yes,
so.
Canadian jail.
Yeah.
Not a real thing, I guess. Jimmy really wants Chaz to go to the hospital for his ankle, and he's like, and miss the smell of sweet gold, not on your life.
that was pretty good. Good for you.
Any other moments here from this sort of closing ceremony stuff?
I mean, like, it all wraps up pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
It's almost as if like the time limit had expired on the arena for them, and they were like, okay, everybody out in 5, and they're like, oh fuck.
They didn't pay their dues.
Like they knew what they were doing with this movie. Like this wraps up very quickly, but like sufficiently for me.
Well, yeah, and like you said, they literally just fly out of the rink. They use the fireworks on their skates.
It's like this is the end where they're just, I don't know how to end it, so they just do the Backstreet Boys song.
Yeah, exactly. The last 30 minutes of this movie are completely off the rails in a really good way.
Well, they set the tone early, right? Like it's a consistent vibe throughout the entire film, right? Like 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, okay, these are the bits we're running with.
All right. Anything else that you want to call out? Maybe something I missed while going through the rundown?
Not even that. I mean, just could you fucking imagine if figure skating was this cool?
Yeah. I mean, figure skate, when you watch the Olympics, though, it is kind of neat. Like, it is really cool.
It's really cool, but like it's funny because this movie reminded me a lot of like Happy Gilmore.
Right, yeah.
And that, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you take something very serious and then some outsider comes and like fucks it up. I guess in this case, there's not really an outsider.
Yeah, there isn't.
The outsider is just Chaz Michaels.
Yeah, he's the bad boy.
He's the bad boy.
He's figure skating's bad boy.
Right? So he's, in a way, he is kind of like the Happy Gilmore of golf, right?
Yeah,
like he's
100%.
out there, you know, doing beer bongs with like the audience and what is it, riding the bull? Like,
yeah.
It just,
So good.
I don't know, it kind of like reminded me of that a little bit.
Yeah. Alrighty, so want to get into our top 5 scenes? You want to kick us off?
My funniest scene by far is the exposition story on Will Ferrell, on Chaz Michaels.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's so good. There's so many good lines in there. Like that is like Will Ferrell at his peak.
Yeah. We keep starting with our first, like our number 1 scene, and it's like, who fucking cares about the rest?
Who cares about the rest? I mean, honestly, they're all good. Like I actually don't even have mine in order, but like I knew coming in that was going to be my number 1.
For me, my number 1 is the chase on skates over the road into the department store on the escalator. That's my favorite part
that
of
whole
the whole
sequence
movie.
is gold.
It's great.
Will Ferrell, you kind of like glossed over this, which I was surprised. I didn't think you would, because I found this very funny. Just him coming out of the shower and he's got the towel on his head, the towel like around his waist, and he's telling the stories about the tattoos.
Right, yeah.
He knows that his body looks like that. And he does not give a fuck.
No, he
He's
does not
like,
give a shit.
this is the funniest body in Hollywood right now.
What is he? He even says something. He's like, this is the body of a
Exactly.
of a real figure skater or something like that.
Like he knows. He fully knows. He's just somehow doing this perfect balancing act of like, because he's not like a really fat guy.
No.
He's just out of shape. He's like before people thought dad bods were attractive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So is that your number 2?
That's my number 2. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really funny. And like, again, even though he didn't, like, I like to think that there was some riffing going on with the tattoos.
My number 2 is the song choices for the skating.
That's
like,
interesting.
When I heard the Aerosmith song, I died. When I heard the Flash Gordon song, I died and loved it all. Like I was like, these are my favorite. Like I love that.
Excellent use of just musical references in general, right?
Yeah,
Again,
100%.
Fergie, My Humps.
That's my number 3.
See, give me that scene, but he's got the towel on his head and the towel around his waist on the treadmill.
Right. Yeah, that'd be funny. I like though he really wants like a Cliff Bar or something like that, and the guy's like, no, you gotta lose a couple pounds.
I also love that he's just like, oh, okay, like he's Chaz Michaels, the bad boy of figure skating. He'd be like, fuck you, I'm gonna eat 7 of them right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Then I have the whole flat in front like Ken.
That's a good bit. Yeah,
I like that one.
That's funny. Funny reference.
How about you? What rounds out your 5?
Again, we touched on this already, but Jon Heder running down the hallway with the balloons is just such a funny sight. Like he looks so disappointed that you truly believe he has done this many times with balloons. Like nobody can run with balloons like that.
Yeah, it's a technique. It's a skill.
Like they were fully expecting to do multiple takes. There was probably like 1,000 balloons on set that day, and he just knocked it out first scene. First take.
Get rid of the balloons. Find someone else for them.
Okay. John, have you done this before?
My last one is I just love the whole sequence of when you come 3.5 years later and Chaz is at the Grublets.
The Grublets.
I love that he's all boozed up. He's a washed out rock star. That whole sequence just kills me.
His like girlfriend at the time is like, well, "You're just gonna get stoned with the Woodland Fairies."
So good.
I love it. Honestly, good job. Good job with this pick, Chaps.
Yeah, it's a good pick. Who's your MVC? Who's your most valuable comedian?
It's Will Ferrell, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I tried to think of like what Heder's case would be, but I just don't think he gets the gags like Ferrell does. You know what I mean?
He knows his place in this movie. Like again, like hockey reference here. Like Will Ferrell is your Connor McDavid, and Jon Heder is your Leon Draisaitl. There's nothing wrong with Draisaitl.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a really good player.
He's great.
On any other team, he's like the best player, right?
Yeah.
He's stuck with the best in this,
So that wraps up most valuable comedian. We're going to do a little bit of head to head. I'm going to give you a couple movies. We're going to stick to 2007. Yeah, let's look at some other movies that came out this year and whether you like them better or not. Let's go with Hot Rod.
I love Hot Rod. Hot Rod is way better than this.
I agree. What about Knocked Up?
Knocked Up's an interesting one. I feel like Knocked Up is a better movie, but like laughs per second, I got to go with this.
This one does have a good I like that laughs per second. Like there's a lot of if you look away or you turn your head, like you're gonna miss a small little throwaway line. Like all those lines in the introduction, like the 30 for 30 segments that they do on Michaels and Jimmy. Like those are great bits. How about Hot Fuzz?
I remember growing up really liking those Simon Pegg movies.
Yeah.
But looking back, again, because I haven't seen them in a while, I don't know. Do I have to give an answer? I haven't seen that movie in so long.
If you don't think you could, you can pass.
I really enjoyed this. Like I feel like I'm going to call it a tie right now. I'm going to pass because I'm not sure.
Okay.
Those would be good movies to do though. What are the other ones? Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. At World's End.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that one, but I do remember liking Shaun of the Dead.
At World's End's not bad as well. Like it's pretty funny. How about Wild Hogs?
Fucking William H. Macy.
And John Travolta and what's his face? Who else is in that? Is it
John
Tim
Travolta,
Allen?
Tim Allen. Yeah. Maybe Martin Lawrence? I'm not sure. Anyways, don't make fun of me. I have seen this recently.
Does it hold up? Is it good?
I mean, it's like entertaining, I guess, for what it is. Like my partner and I love watching like garbage movies. Like I'm a big 2-star movie kind of guy.
Yeah.
This is a perfect 2-star movie. It is not better than this though.
Okay. And Superbad.
Well, no.
Yeah. It came out in 2007. I'd be remiss not to say it.
Fair enough.
Alrighty. So that's head to head. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Writer's Room. And we're back. This is the segment of the pod where Rip and I give each other some prompts and we try to make a movie out of them. I'm going to go first this time. Last week, Rip gave me Amelia Clark, a road trip comedy, and his biggest mistake, the year 1977. Because I think he forgot what happened in that year.
No, I know what happened. This is why I gave it to you. I knew you would be excited about this year.
Okay, it's spring. It's 1977. Katie Summers just saw a trailer for Star Wars and needs to see it. Except when Star Wars first came out, it was only in 32 theaters. So
I didn't know that.
Not many places you could actually go see it. And Katie, being from a small town, her theater barely ever gets these kind of movies. So unless she road trips across the country, she's never going to see it. That's when she convinces her best friends with promises of boys and shopping to go on this cross-country adventure with her.
Oh, interesting. It's like a girls' roadie to see Star Wars. Actually, that's a really fun spin. That's a good spin.
And she really wants to go see Star Wars, so they're going to go. I think maybe it's like she learns that a city a couple states over, a couple towns over, a good drive away, just got Star Wars, and she's going to go see it with them. That's all. That's
I like
all I
that. That's like what is it called? Crossroads. That's one with Britney Spears in it, right?
I've never seen Crossroads.
I think it's Crossroads. So it's almost like that meets what's that like? Fanboys?
Yeah, Fanboys. Yeah, it's got that big,
that's pretty
big
good.
Fanboys vibes.
I would watch the shit out of that.
I like the idea of looking at how the story of how, like, because Star Wars was a huge sensation when it came out. Like, it's where we got the term blockbuster because people were lining up around the block.
See, I'm so happy I gave this to you. I knew you were going to fucking run with this.
I just love this idea of seeing how Star Wars took over during that summer because it was released in May, and through the lens of like this girl's road trip to go see it because she really wants to see it and she never get it. Like, imagine being alive in 77 and not having the internet. You can't just go.
I was going to ask you this. Like, how do movies take off like that? Like, it just word of mouth?
It was all word of mouth.
That's wild.
From my understanding and what my even what my dad's told me. Like, when it came out here, there was lineups for that movie for weeks.
That's crazy.
At every showing, like lineups, like all the time. So like, I think it would be a really cool movie to explore, like how a blockbuster like that comes to be, and then this one person's journey to go see it, basically.
Yeah.
Which is basically the plot to Fanboys, because their friend is terminal and they want him to see.
Which one is it? Is Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, I think it might I think it might be Phantom Menace.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. Attack of the Clones. We're always gonna work in a Bill Hader.
I love that.
Reference. Alrighty.
That was really good.
Oh, thank you. It's not fully fleshed out, but maybe I'll do it. Who knows? All right, Rip, hit me.
Okay, so you gave me Cate Blanchett, an Oscar bait drama, and this is my favorite part because you did not specify. You just kind of said dresses. She's a dressmaker, seamstress.
I said profound dressmaker. Which
profound. Sorry,
I don't know if profound's the right.
And then we also said we said spinster at one point, which is.
Did we find out what that is?
It's not that.
What is it?
It's not what we think it is.
What is it? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's like a widow of some sort. I want to say, or maybe like
a widow is a widow. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know. It's
we
not
have
that.
These computers in front of us. I'm gonna look it up.
Anyways, I'm gonna hit you with this while you look it up.
I fucking knew it. It's literally a person. Oh,
it's not anything.
Spinster is a term referring to an unmarried woman who is older than what is perceived as the prime age range during which women usually marry.
Perfect.
But all the pictures are of them with the wheels.
That's such a good bit. I wish I worked that into this, but I didn't. Maybe you'll pick up what I'm throwing down anyway. Okay. So this is going to be set in 1950s London.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
So Cate Blanchett is a renowned dressmaker whose fastidious life is disrupted by a young, strong-willed man who becomes her muse and lover.
Ooh, muse.
I'm thinking like maybe we get someone like Daniel Day-Lewis for the man. So Cate Blanchett is at the center of British fashion in 1950s London. She's dressing royalty, movie stars, heiresses, socialites, and debutantes. However, men do come and go in Blanchett's life, providing the confirmed bachelorette with inspiration and companionship.
Ooh.
That is until she meets Daniel Day-Lewis. So I have some bits.
Okay. It's not a comedy, but
it's not. But
okay.
like they're not even like bits, really. They're not jokes. I think they're like adages, you know.
Scenes.
Like Blanchett is like sewing like these adages into like dresses.
Oh, okay. So she like that's like her thing.
Yeah,
is it like on the
kind of
tag?
like transforms like her dresses from like just like being work, but like into art.
Okay, hit me.
So yeah, like I mean, it sounds basic, right? But I want you to think of it as like a collective toil, a singular vessel for beauty and pleasure. Do you know who would be really good for this?
What?
Like Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, PTA. Yeah.
So you're not getting at all what I'm doing, huh?
No. Am I missing?
This is Phantom Thread.
I was gonna say when you said Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's been in a dressmaking movie before.
But
I don't want to stop your role.
I 100% ripped all of this off of IMDb's plot for Phantom Thread.
Did you actually come up with a movie?
No.
No? Okay. No, I like that.
Because the second I thought of this, I was like, holy shit, I have to do this. And I wonder if you'll get it or not.
I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt, which is why I didn't say anything when you said Daniel Day-Lewis.
The second I said collective toil and singular vessel for beauty and pleasure.
You act like I've seen the movie.
I can't write that.
I thought you were going out on like one of your little like writer things where you do like I think you could write something like that if you tried. You just don't.
It's so good. For next time, I'm going to give you Jeremy Strong, a stoner comedy.
Fun.
And skydiving.
Skydiving. I love that. Okay. I have for you this week Christopher Mintz-Platz. I got his name right. Comedy. And he's a teacher because he's older now.
Oh, okay.
And I swear, if you come back and have the plot of Bad Teacher with Cameron Diaz as your fucking movie, your writer's room next week, you're cut.
You'll have no appreciation for that, eh?
I mean, if you want to do it, go for it.
I feel like if you don't pick up on that, that's a Chaps problem.
Not picking up on the Phantom Thread? Yeah, I guess that is. I guess I should have watched Phantom Thread just to make sure you didn't rip it
You
off.
should. We have one friend who has seen it like 1 million times, which is kind of weird.
Unless you really like that movie.
If you're into it, you're into it, you know?
Yeah.
Guess what? Next week is a Rip Macho week.
It is. It is.
Are you ready? I'm going to hit you with a deep cup from...
Deep cup?
Not a deep cup. It could be. Because you're about to fill it with laughs. Oh. Boom. A deep cut from the Library of Rip Macho. It's a Netflix movie. So you don't have to buy it or rent it.
I'll rent it just so you feel better
I don't
about
think
having
you can
to
rent it because I think it is a Netflix original.
Imagine. I'm going to go to
It is a futile and stupid gesture.
Oh, fun.
Have you seen this?
I have seen this.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
With Will Forte. We're doing the Wills.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
Great.
Alrighty. We'll see you next time on the pod. Are you gonna, you look like you want to say bye.
Yeah, but it's your hosting. You get the last word.
Okay, we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Son of a bitch.